Alrighty, spawning in the bottom left in the blue. From Dragon Phoenix Gaming, give it up. It is Cure. It's spawning in the top right in the red. From Kai Z Gaming, give it up. It is Solar. Alright, so, you know, we've been doing these intros for quite a while now. Like, I've been realizing the other day at work that we've been casting for a few years now. It really does feel like it hasn't been that long, but when I look back, it really has been about 4 years, it feels like. And every intro in my head feels like a action movie, like announcer, like. But then when I listen back, it's just kind of like it doesn't sound like that. So it really kind of gives you a perspective of in your head just how crazy some things sound to you, but to other people it might sound completely different. And speaking of completely different, well, it's not really completely different for Cure, but we are going to see a double Rax proxy coming out from Cure. Solar, though, has actually scouted this out, ends up sending down a drone to start putting on some pressure. Of course, these SCVs are going to be utilized to try to make a bunker, and it's going to be going into a Marine 2 Rax. Now, this is going to allow him to, you know, put on some pressure at the front. It's going to force essentially wants to force a pull from Solar. And we'll see if he can actually manage that and how much damage this can get. Now, behind this, he is getting more gas, which will allow him to go into factory behind this. So, Solar, though, going to go ahead and pull those drones. Gets the kill, actually, onto the bunker. So, really nice pickup. And now looking for that surround. Does he get it? It looks like he's going to be able to get it. Oh, he gets it onto 2 of the Marines. They do go down, resetting the count back down to 2, but so far 4 drones have fallen. Now the Lings are here, a couple of Queens on the way as well to try to stop this. And honestly, I feel like this could have gotten more damage, but looking for another surround. Oh, such a beautiful play there. Really utilizing those SCVs to make sure that those Marines do not get surrounded. They really are the crux of this build. There we go. So, behind this, Cure does have a factory on the way. Gonna eventually, I think maybe... Does he go into tanks behind this? I don't think so. I think maybe go into Hellions. You've really forced Solar to kind of go into just Lings at this point. So I think definitely going into Hellions could be a good call here. The Marines going to try to get on top of the Queens. Have to kill off a few more Lings. So far, 10 Lings, 4 drones have gone down for 6 Marines, an SCV, and a bunker. So pretty even. Pretty even altogether in loss tab. So I don't know if it's necessarily been worth it for all this. I mean, I guess if you factor in the delayed mining time, yeah, definitely makes it a little bit worth it. And behind it, we do actually see Cure going for a natural. Going into Reapers, which is really interesting to me. I don't know. I guess maybe for some additional scouting to get into the main base. Especially, you know, Solar is expecting more Marines. Coming in with the Reapers. Should be able to pick off another couple of kills and get good scouting off. There we go. So eventually we'll be making its way out with those, and this does give a chance for Cure to float those barracks back. Now that's one of the bad things about actually doing these proxies, is it takes so long for those buildings to float back. Behind this, Starport on the way as well, so we'll allow Cure to eventually go up into medevacs and start kind of pushing with drops, which is something that he loves to do. It's going to be going into Hellions. Third base on the way for Solar. Looks like, though, the Marines and the Hellions just going to put some more pressure onto this third base. Does not want to let it finish, and yeah, there it is. He's going to get the cancel. And the kill on the drone. Obviously, Solar wanting to go up here now to put in a third base up here, and it looks like that is going to be the case. Queen's getting that creep spread, so by the time this gets up, it should have some creep there, and one of those queens could be dropped off at the pool and you know, be on daycare duty. It's going up to 6 Hellions here with 2 Reapers. Very interesting. Even transitioning into a Banshee with Cloak. I like it. Stim on the way. We do eventually just see him kind of SCVing up at this point. Solar, though, already going into roaches behind this. Does have 3 roaches on the way, adding on those additional gases, and we will start seeing Solar start building up a force here. Now, he would be looking for a counterattack opportunity, but honestly, with the amount of pressure that Cure has put on, I don't know if he could necessarily just walk across and deal the damage. We see Cure splitting up those units as much as possible. Wants to get on top of that third base. Does see that the third has been taken up here, and the Roach is going to be in position to kind of push this back if Cure wants to continue to press the forward. Now 3 Queens going to be blocking down the bat, and this is one of those tough things about this map is because there are so many different like little choke points, little areas. Hellion's not going to be able to just run by for free. Already layer on the way for Solar, which will allow him to go up into, you know, Hydras, Mutas, wherever he wants to go with that. Wings and the Roaches looking to break the rocks. See, Cure gonna go ahead and hang out in the front, and he does have a lot of map presence right now. Like, even though there are roaches out for the Zerg, it definitely feels like Cure is, in a sense, keeping Solar at home. Yeah. Trying to utilize the Lings, but unfortunately with that many Hellions, unless you can get a good surround, you're gonna have some tough time. Here comes Cure with those Banshees, getting the creep tumor there, actually going to separate this out, make this a little bit slower for the Queens, even though it's not a long distance. That little amount of time definitely will start adding up. And this is one thing I like about Cure is he utilizes these Banshees so well that even if he can't get damage with the with the drones, he just finds something, right? He finds some kind of value. Yeah, he's using scans up. But he's clearing off the creep. He's reducing the vision of Solar. And now, behind this, going to be throwing a 2 medevac full of units. Looking like he's going to go into the main base. Now, the Banshees are kind of pulling everything to this side, so I don't know how much I like that, but 4th base going to be on the way for Solar. Still has these Hellions and stuff in the front. Looks like he's going to go into the 3rd base. Ooh, I like this actually. The Banshee's going to start focusing down onto the Queens. Oh no, he does not know this is here. The medevacs do come down. One of the Banshees do end up losing the Marines, stemming forward. Going to get on top of the Queens. Some good transfuses do come out. Eventually though, the energy is out. And the 3rd Queen, does he get it? Yeah, he does. Going to be able to pick that up and move out. You end up moving that back. Okay, it's done here. What a nice little play coming out from Cure. Now, the Banshee's still alive, and the Marine's still trying to find some damage here. Oh, the Corrosive Bile ends up killing off that beautiful little Banshee. Now, Solar wants to go for a counterattack. He's got a pretty good Roach Ravager force here. And the Hellions looking for some kills. Picks off a couple of creep tumors. Now going to go into the 3rd base. Looking to get some more damage. There's another attack going down here at the bottom at the same time. Well, most of the forces are here. Does actually see the Infestation Pit. Sees the Hydralisk Den. Knows, okay, there is the potential for some lurkers. And we do, in fact, see the Lurker Den coming down. See Hive Tech on the way, which allow those upgrades to come through for the drone, or excuse me, for the Zerg. Trying to get a little bit more damage here, but unfortunately, Roach is in position. I'm not going to allow that to happen. And we'll continue to play on. Now, doing a pretty good job of actually killing off some of the Overlords, trying to focus down onto the Ravagers. We will see another pickup. +2 on the way for the Terran. Zerg has +2 almost done. Burrow finishing up. Tunneling Claws. And even the augment, muscle augments upgrade. Very, very nice. Ooh. So there already has a small force here. Even taking a 5th base behind this, another little drop does get picked up once again. Unfortunately, just not finding a lot of damage at this point. Go picks up once again, just poking in, killing off a few units, and moving out. Actually gonna get the 5th base here. That's a nice pickup. And it will force the Roaches back down. Could pick this back up and move back out, but we will see how that transpires. Now, did he already lose those Roaches? Yep. Oh, there they are. The Roach hit squad, the silent snipers of the underground. They just get completely, yeah. They're like, retreat, retreat, retreat. Yeah, kind of unfortunate there, but he does at least know where the army is of Cure. Solar, though, I mean, the thing with Solar is, like, he keeps looking for these counterattacks, but then, like, psychs himself out and returns back home. And some decent splits coming out from Cure. We do see the tank slowly starting to move forward. There's 10 Hydras on the way. Already a couple of Lurkers here. He's at 6 Lurkers altogether. So, I mean, this is going to be a little tough for Cure, but the big thing is Tunneling Claws, or the Seismic Spines, excuse me, is not done. So, basically, they're not going to be as utilized against the tanks. Now, the Marines and stuff going towards the natural. A nice little counterattack, getting off 10 workers down here. Eventually does get cleaned up. And Solar doing a pretty good job. He does have those Lurkers still around. Viper's going to start yanking in some of the tanks. Getting those 8 up pretty quickly. Down to what? Down to 6. I think he was up at 10 at one point. Blinding Clouds do go down. And he's still just getting hit here. What is going on? Adaptive Talons is now done. We'll allow those to burrow a little bit quicker. And, yeah, man. Ends up getting this 5th base just barely out of range, actually, of Solar's Lurkers. A little bit of a misplay there. And now just more and more units coming across for Cure. Solar definitely in some trouble. Going to lose the 5th base as well. And, you know, really, we could see Cure just going into the main base from here, but looks like he is going to slowly start pushing up towards this 3rd base. Oh, I guess he's going to back up at this point. And there are 2 little drones trying to, like, blend in. They're like, we're just invisible creep tumors. It doesn't look like that's going to help them any. And yeah, looks like it's just a big push into the main. Already, though, we see Solar starting to reposition himself. Tank's going to get up onto the high ground. 3 tanks on the bottom. Some nice Blinding Clouds do go down onto the top. And now the Vipers yanking in one of the tanks. Crucibles will eventually land on it. The focus fire, though, with those Marauders onto the Lurkers. And then ends up backing up back into tank range. Really does kind of put Solar in a weird position. And we see Cure just slowly starting to push forward now. Trying to focus once again onto the Lurkers. Picks up and moves back. Gotta be careful, though. Yeah. Able to finally get back down to the 4th base. We'll see how that ends up going as Cure. Going to be going up towards that new 4th base location. A lot of drones, though, on the way here. Oh, no. There are some Lurkers coming, though, as he does see this. Same time, another attack coming up here at the top. Yeah, eventually this does get cleaned up. And we'll see this starting to move down. Now the 4th base goes down once again. You're doing a pretty good job of keeping Solar on like a 3-base economy. Eventually this will all get cleaned up. And the attack commencing back here. Trying to get the Viper. Not going to make it. There are still a couple of units. And now a big counterattack going across for Solar. But there's just so much at home. Does an okay job splitting against the lurkers. But there was only 2 lurkers. So not a whole lot. The Viper trying to get in position. Gets the Blinding Cloud off. Ends up losing to the missile turret. For the most part, we do actually see Solar having to basically fend for himself here. Another couple of kills goes down into the natural. Going to go back up into the main base. Dropping these medevacs, getting pretty low. And eventually they will be taken out after a couple of more kills. Another attack coming up here towards the 4th base. Gets the kill once again. Going to start killing off more drones. It's literally 58 to 68 workers. And, I mean, Solar is just getting stretched apart here from Cure's kind of multi-drop style. 16 drones altogether have fallen. We do see another pickup and another small force going across for Cure. Solar definitely in some trouble. Like, lurkers are good, Hydras are okay. But every time Solar tries to put another base, oh my god. Solar just not on the level today. At least in game 1 here. 23 workers altogether have fallen. Eventually we're going to start seeing more and more units falling for the Zerg. And at the same time, another attack down here at the bottom. GG's. So, game number 2 coming through for our 2 players. I gotta be honest, man. Cure was looking so good in game number 1. Like, even though it started off a little bit wonky, right? We saw the 2 racks proxy coming out from Cure. You know, the follow-up was really nice. I think what really helped him too was just the medevac drop with the Banshees. I think is really kind of where it started this downhill spiral. And Solar was playing almost scared both games, or well, for that game, right? So every time he was wanting to go for a counterattack, he would just completely stop and then back up. It was like, I'm gonna attack. No, never mind. So Solar needs to be aggressive. He needs to be maybe, I guess, more defensive to be able to try to secure another victory. Now, Jagannatha is a little bit of a longer map. Sometimes we do have crazy games on this one, though. I'm surprised that Cure isn't proxying on this map, since it is kind of a favorite, and we don't see any kind of like crazy hatchery plays coming out from Solar. You know, this map could be pretty good for some mutas. I wouldn't mind seeing that coming out from Solar, but we'll see. I think he definitely tends to go for kind of the roach heavier style plays. Maybe goes into mutas. I don't think his muta play is that strong, though. Solar gonna be getting those queens up and ready, and getting a couple of links just for defense. Does look like we are going to have ourselves a Reaper, though. Right? Saw that, right? Yeah, I did. There he is. Looking to get in here. Wants to get a couple of kills. So far, some pretty good micro coming out from the Zerg. But looks like he will end up losing 1, maybe 2. Yeah. Is he going to get a 3rd? Oh, not able to get a 3rd. And eventually will hop on out to heal himself up. Now, Solar is coming down here towards the bottom. There is a Marine, but eventually could be utilized if Solar wants to go for maybe like a Nidus Worm play on this map. Obviously, with the distance, if you can find a way to just get your units over across the map quicker, you're going to have a good time. Here we go. Still able to get that up. Does in fact see that there is a 3rd base, though, so Cure will be ready for that. Now, we have seen a lot of Terrans kind of go into a 3rd base pretty quickly. I'm kind of curious to see if maybe we we see Cure do the same thing here. So far, it's going to be a Liberator, going to be Hellions as a follow-up, and just going to keep the pressure up in the front of Solar's base. Solar getting those Queens up and ready, getting Overlord speed, getting Link speed, and eventually we'll be able to start flying in with the Overlords and kind of seeing where Cure is wanting to go. So far for going to be 6 Hellions in total, and I do think he will switch this out, maybe go into tanks behind it. It really is interesting. Like, Cure is not afraid to go just tank against like a mass Ling Bane style. Looks like I don't think that's going to be what this is though. So Solar going up to a lair, getting more drones, just droning up super heavy. Here we go. Nice little force down towards the bottom. Looking to poke in once again. Keeping the eye of Solar down here while we do actually have the Liberator coming across. There he is. He's going the, the long way around. And we'll see where he wants to go from here. Now, going to put some focus on to the Queens. Wants to try to poke away from this. You see Spore Crawlers being made pretty close to the edge. Queen's going to go in and try to surround this Liberator, but kind of fake out the Queen there. Pretty funny. Does get a couple of kills. Not bad, not bad. 3. Ends up getting it. Same time, we do finally see the Hellions, I mean, just poking in at this point. It's going to be Ling Bane coming out from Solar. And, I mean, not a lot done. Like, this is one of the things that we see so much from, like, Cure. And I think even, like, Beyond does this. Where they literally will just poke in. They don't suicide the Hellions, right? They still give them map control. What a beautiful surround. Oh, man. Beautiful surround coming out from Solar, which will just completely destroy this. And I guess maybe that's why a lot of Terrans are very cautious about utilizing those Hellions. But I feel like at that point, you know, Solar is just going to be able to mount up a lot of Links by that point. As much as you stall them out, we do see Bailings on the way. 7 Bailings being morphed in. Bailing speed on the way. +1 coming through. Ooh, Overlord gonna go into the main base here with a bunch of Links. There's a small little force going up towards the top, looking to focus down onto the Bailings, onto the Queens, but this is where another attack is going. This time Solar counter-attacking with a handful of Lings. We'll be able to pick off a couple of SCVs here. Mines in, a handful of Marines going to be coming through, so doesn't get as much damage done as he really would have liked. Trying to go into the main, just going to kill off a couple of Links. It's really about it, and forces the pickup. And this is just so beautiful. Look at all that red flinging around. Ooh, 4 more Bailings on the way. See, Widow Mines and a pretty good placement. Cure actually seeing the Lings once again. But they are going to be morphing into some Bailings. Already we do have a couple of depots going down to try to blockade this in, but with the Dropo Lords, you don't have to worry about the about the depots. So nice little push coming in here with the Widow Mines. On the other side, though, Ling's going to start pushing in towards this third base. Here come those Dropo Lord Bailings. And 11, 12 kills. This just gets completely shot down as well. Beautiful play there. Solar just playing a completely different game here in game number 2. Kills off 15, 16 SCVs, GG's, and Solar evens the score. Next game coming through here. Cure going to be building his barracks in the main this time, not proxying it, not doing anything crazy. Solar going to go for his hatch first. It's very standard openings so far, and you know, I really like what Solar did there. You know, we talked about it. You know, he needs to do something different if he wants to get, you know, get into this, because the previous game to that, seen Cure being so dominant, you know, it did kind of put Solar in an awkward position. I don't know if he necessarily knew how to handle it, and he was just kind of trying to get up to something. But game number 2 looked so much better from Solar, and I would love to see him continue to play like that. Now, I don't know if he necessarily needs to go into, like, Drop-O-Lords every game. I don't know if he needs to go Nidus Worm or get aggressive, but you have to keep Cure at home. If you want to win against Cure, you need to keep him at home. You have to keep him defensive. If he is able to be out on the map and to do his drops the way he wants to, it definitely makes it tough if you are the Zerg. Cure, though, going to be coming over. Wants to get a good scout, see, you know, was it a hatch first? Was it a pool first? Indeed, scouts the early pool, or the early hatch, excuse me. Reaper making its way across the map. We'll actually run in high 5, the SEV, and we'll go into the natural. Queen's on the way. A couple links have ended up popping out. Going to be hanging out at the bottom. And we got to be honest here. Cure's micro with the Reaper has been pretty good. All things considered, there was a couple of times it looked like he was going to lose it, but able to pull it back just in time. There we go. Now, Cure, again, just going to be on the defensive. Will eventually scout that there is a third base here. And Solar, of course, just droning up for the most part. Really not worried about one single Reaper. Queens are in position, so if he does try to jump up here, will be taken out, as well as tries to go in here into the natural. Will not see that happen, so not too bad. Behind this for Cure, we do actually see the starport coming out, a third CC. And, yeah, I mean, he's going to be in a pretty good position here all around. Now, Solar does have speed on the way, this time not vying for the Overlord speed upgrade. So, doesn't look like he's going to try to go in and get any, like, quick scouting done. As well as do Drop-O-Lords. I think maybe that's the biggest thing for Solar, is having that speed to be able to just kind of drop in, drop out kind of situation. So, it is going to be more Hellions coming through for Cure. Going to go into that Viking play, and I love that so far. Each game has been a different build from these players. There's some series where it's just, you know, all you do is see the same build, and so it's kind of like, okay, you kind of know who's going to win. Maybe they take a bad fight and the other person wins because, you know, whatever. But I like it when they change the stuff up. He's going to be going into a Liberator behind this Viking, but the Viking will at least give him a little bit more mobility? No, that's not the right word. We'll give him a little bit better chance to not be dropped on, I guess. There we go. So, oh, actually a nice transfuse there from Solar, keeping that Overlord alive. Eventually we will see the Viking backed off. And this time Solar not really going across with any Overlords. Like, he did have one over here. I think he ended up losing it, but being very cautious, and especially knowing that there's a Viking out, we'll try to put that to use. Now, behind this is going to be going up to that magical 6 Hellion count. Got the armory coming through, about finished up, and stem on the way. So, very interesting. Looks like he's going to be going for some kind of Hellbat push here. And Marines. I mean, it could get some damage done, for sure. Viking finally gets himself an Overlord kill. Where's the Liberator at? Did he lose the Liberator? Oh, it's just making its way the long way. And here we go. Hellbats and the and the Marines. And we coming forward here. There's quite a few Queens already. The bowling pin of Queens. We'll be able to knock it down. Finally see the Liberator right there, going up into the main at the same time, looking to put some pressure on, and Solar is completely distracted. He's not pulling any of his drones at the moment. Gonna be able to get a couple of kills. Eventually, the Hellbats will eventually be taken care of and pushed back, as there's just too many queens here. Nice little counterattack coming across for Solar, but with a few Hellbats there, eventually we're just going to see this cleaned up as well. So, not bad. I think he got like one SCV kill with that. And we will see Solar returning back home. +1 is almost done for the Zerg. +1 just now starting up for the Terran. So this will give Solar a little bit of an advantage going into the next part of this phase of the fight. We've got the 4th base returned. And you get more kills. There it is right there. Yeah, just getting more kills with the Liberator is so good. And another attack coming across for Cure here. I guess if it doesn't work once, he's going to try it again. Here we go. Bailing speed on the way. +2 is being started now for Solar behind all of this. So the upgrade disadvantage definitely going to have a part. 12 lings on the way. Trying to focus down the 4th base location. And a nice little surround coming out here from Solar. Just going to be able to pick this up. Medevac's going to go down. And, I mean, eventually he goes into the natural here, but I really feel like this is just a little bit too much coming out from Solar. And there we go. Behind this, the Marines and Hellbats just continuously trying to push in towards the front. But there's just so many queens here. I don't know how well this is going to do. I mean, the good thing is it is keeping Solar on this kind of, like, Hellion bailing style. And he's going to start throwing in some mines behind this as well, but just not sure exactly how you want to play this out, right? I guess maybe if he can make a good a good mine hit, that would be okay, but nope, can only take out a couple of lings there. Nice little force back. We will see Solar eventually making his way out. Four mine drop coming up towards the top, and you're just continuously trying to push in towards this 3rd base, but Solar has us on lockdown at the moment. Even throwing down a 5th and a 6th base, yeah. Does not see this coming across. Widow Mine speed is almost done. Nice little surround as well. Going to force a pickup. And we will start seeing just more pushes coming out here. So Cure trying to utilize these multi-pronged drops. I don't know, man. Obviously, Solar's attention is down here. He's going up into Hive Tech. He's already got Hydras. I think he's going into a Lurker Den behind this. Not yet. He doesn't have the Lurker Den yet, but he does have Infestation Pit. He's going up. And, oh, man. 18 drone kills. I think he actually killed them all from right here. Kind of missed that, unfortunately. But, 29. Holy cow. So much damage being done right now here from Cure. Still, though, after 29 kills, we still see Solar ahead in the drone count. Does get a Hydra with one or more mine. Gonna go up towards the top with some more mines and Marines. And now we're starting to see Solar kind of do, or excuse me, starting to see Cure put on more of that pressure. We will eventually start seeing more of the Lings and Banes trying to come up towards the top for Solar to deal with this. But you got to be kind of curious and see kind of where things are going to go from here. There we go. Does look like Solar ends up losing the 6th base, loses the 5th base as well. Another pickup here. All things considered, looking pretty well. Lurker Den going to be going down for Solar finally here at 10-11 minutes. A little bit late. I gotta be honest, that's a really late Lurker Den, and I guess because of all the pressure and stuff, he hasn't been able to really tech up like he wants to. I just think it's a little bit too late for Solar at this point. The mines coming in here, Solar not doing the best of splitting against this, but oh, here we go. I mean, he is holding himself, but at this point now, we see Cure just continuously pushing across with more and more. This bottom base is going to be retaken, and you know, it's starting to get a little scary. I mean, Seismic Spine's upgrade is coming through. We are going to start seeing Liberator range coming out for Cure behind this, and I mean, honestly, he's going to be ready for this. He knows that the lurkers are on the way. Adrenaline gland's going to be researched here for Solar. Oh, jeez. It's another 12 kills. Just does so many things with these mines. Fortunately, Solar just not able to respond to it. Oh, another huge hit onto the Bailings with the mine. And yeah, I mean, Cure just kind of going back and forth. There still is a little bit here, but I don't think he's going to be able to get too much more done with that. Yeah, I mean, even going up to the top, getting more kills. Ooh, let's get a parasitic bomb off. And just Cure all over the map. Solar doing a pretty good job, though, and he is kind of still in this, right? I mean, he does have the lurkers coming through. The big concern, though, is a lot of these bases are starting to run dry. He's kind of forced Solar into this position where he's having to make so many more drones. He's not able to do these counterattacks and continue to put pressure. He's going to send a little bit of a Ling run by. That's really all he can afford at this point. We see the money coming in for Cure. There's so much more than what Solar has. A pretty good force there. Able to clean that up, and that's definitely a win. We're seeing Solar finally starting to max out. Looking to push across the map. And I don't know, man. This counterattack could do some damage. There's not a lot here for Cure, but with the Liberators coming in, eventually I think this does get cleaned up. Lurker's going to go ahead and burrow down the links, trying to get us around onto the planetary. Eventually does get backed up. Vipers, though, looking to kind of push into this as well. Or, oh, man. Oh, man. Nice little attack going down here. Widowmine's going to be able to kind of help this out. Lurkers are returning back home to deal with this. Yeah. I don't know, man. Starting to trade onto workers. Another nice little push. Parasitic bomb's going to be going off onto the Liberators. We'll force a weird position here. The Lurker's going to be down as well. Queen's transfusing onto all of the units that they can. As we see Cure starting to push across, trying to clear up some of the pathing, or at least clear up some of the creep. +3 is going to be finishing up now for the Terran, while +3 has been done as far as melee-wise for the Zerg. I'm going to go into Spire behind this. Looks like he wants to transition out from here. I guess, do you go into Broodlords behind this? Goes down towards the bottom. And we will see fourth base is going to eventually fall. Nice little lurker run by down here towards the bottom, but just not going to get too much done. And unfortunately, it's one of those things where he can't do, you know, a handful of lurkers across the map. With all of this pressure coming across, definitely has to be careful. With Liberator range being done, just going to slowly start chipping away at this. Vipers will start yanking in a few of the Liberators, but when you have like 12, 15 Liberators, not a good time. And yeah, just slowly starting to push forward, slowly starting to creep into this. Vipers are trying to regain some of their energy, but it looks like now Solar kind of pulled the trigger here, trying to get us around onto the army of Cure, but Cure just has a little bit too much, I think. And the Liberator's just going to go ahead and siege up and reposition themselves as the Marines. The Marauder is going to go into the main, forcing another re-siege coming out from Solar. Going to get right on top of the ramp. And does he get the hive? Parasitic bombs do go off, which will help against those liberators. And eventually we'll clean this up, but I think it's a little too late. GG's. You know, I'm really interested because we have seen Pure just kind of go into this very heavy Hellbat Marine push. From the previous game, really didn't feel like it did that much damage. I guess, yeah, it forced out Lings. And when you're going into something like Hellbat Marines, I guess that is kind of what you're hoping for, is to force out more army units instead of larva in the long run. It just didn't feel like he got really any value besides that. Especially once they get up into like the 6 queen range. And I think definitely previous series, like back before battle cruisers were really popular and they got the rework, I think the Hellbat Marine push would have done a lot more damage. But nowadays, because of how the meta shifts have happened, Solar, or just Zerg in general, start making more and more queens, and I think that's really what holds that play off. Like, it's just the mass amount of queens. If Solar only had maybe like 1 or 2 queens instead of like the 6 or 7 that he had, I definitely think Cure would have got more damage done. But queens are just so good against Hellbats and against a small amount of Marines like that. Yeah. Third base on the way for Solar. You see Cure hanging out in the front with the Reaper. He's trying to get damage done where he can, and once again try to keep that map control and force Solar to stay at home. Right, that's going to allow him to get into this third base, get his, you know, starports and everything set up to be able to go into the next stage of the game. We'll see. We'll see kind of where he wants to go with this. Now, if you are Solar, you know, you just getting kind of pulled apart in the late game. It really feels like that. Like, granted, Solar has been doing a fantastic job with the Vipers. He's been doing a good job with the Lurkers, but it just feels like he sends everything to one side. Like, he has trouble splitting up his army, and you can definitely see Cure trying to utilize to that. I don't know, man. Well, we'll see here in this game if he can somehow manage to find that, or keep Cure from being able to do those multi-prong drops. So it's going to be a Liberator once again coming out from Cure. Got the Viking out to help kind of situate against some of the Overlords. Marines going to take out that beautiful Overlord, exploding him from the inside out. And once again, we have this very heavy Hellion kind of stout play. Fortunately, he is supply blocked. Okay. Does he go in? Does he go into this again? Do we see him go into the Hellbat style push? I don't think so. We've got Stim on the way. 6 Hellions. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have an armory or anything either, so I guess maybe he could make a couple of mines, but it is going to in fact be another tech switch into this. And there we go. Here coming in with the Hellions, looking to get a nice surround. Almost kills off the Queen. Gonna get on top of all of these drones. Oh man, what a good play. Killing off 10 drones, a handful of Lings, and even makes it out with 4 Hellions. Just a crazy, crazy play. You lose that. Okay. Liberator was over there as well. That's what happened. Liberator came in right here as well. So, not bad. Even can he get another Overlord kill with the Viking? Man, such a good game. Layer on the way. We do have Bailing Nest coming down for Solar behind all of this. +1 coming through for Solar as well. And, you know, just starting to go into that Ling Bane. You know, he is a player that loves to go into this Lurker style. So as long as Cure keeps playing this solid game and kind of delaying that from Solar, No, last time we saw Solar not even able to get up into the lurkers until like 11 minutes because of all of the pressure that was constantly being there. Gets another 8 kills. So many drones killed off. We do see a drop finally getting its way out here for Cure, and this is where Cure becomes the deadliest. We do see that 4th base coming down for Solar. Solar looking to go for a counterattack, but once again, Intuition going to keep him back at home. Looks and sees the 3rd base, sees a small force, and kind of has an idea that there might be something coming. Something greater than he ever knows. 7 Bailings on the way. Bailing speed being researched. Here we go. Overlord is actually going to scout this as the Marines drop in. The Lynx looking to scramble across the map. 14 more Lynx on the way. +1 is about done. And, yeah, just picks up, moves out. There's only 1 Queen here to help defend. So should be more than okay. And, you know, it really has Solar almost not necessarily scared, but does put him in this weird position. He's afraid to send his units anywhere in fear of being double dropped here. So Lynx end up having to back up. Bailing's not going to be able to get much done. Another drop going up towards the top, trying to focus down the medevacs, but with the Marines stemming forward and a couple of mines, it will actually force the Queens back. And at the same time as Solar trying to deal with this drop up at the top, another drop goes down at the bottom, and Solar is in some trouble. It's going to send a small force of Lynx to try to help defend against this, but he's not even sending all of them. Does actually force the pickups. That's nice. But this drop still going on the top for Cure. And Solar just not sure what to do. He's going into Hydralisks. Once again, he's got the Infestation Pit. Going to go up into Lurker, but I don't know. Yeah, well, he's able to kill off a couple of Marines. And here comes another drop of units to join in with this, and this is just scary. I mean, this time, all things considered, Solar's creep is doing fairly well, pushing across, but when you have this many drops going on, and you're just not able to spread against it, makes it very tough. Nice push. Going to go into the main base already, though. There are some Lings hanging out. Looking to get the cancel onto the hatchery. Does actually get it on the 5th base. And another drop coming through. 4 mines once again, looking to get some more damage done. And just a big old force of Marines coming up towards the 5th base, or 4th base once again. Solar supply block. And not the best Widow Mine shots. I mean, I guess that one was okay. Gonna go into the main. And really is just starting to see Solar fall apart here. I mean, he is trying to clean this up the best of his ability. These mines, though, are just killing Solar. Drilling Claws, 3 seconds away from finishing up. +2 is about done. And here he goes. He's going to drop a couple of mines into the main. Not getting pulled. Oh, 7 more do go down. Oh, 19 drones. Solar just falling apart at the seams right now. Not moving his drones, not really separating as much. There's just so much going on. It really feels like he cannot keep up against Cure. And gets finally cleaning up some of the Marines, but there's just another force to replace it up at the top. And once again, attacking into the 4th base. Does an okay split against the Bailings, focusing them down. And Solar now going into the Lurkers. He's getting Seismic Spine upgrade, getting Vipers, trying to deal with this. But you've got to be worried here for Solar. I mean, he is taking so much damage. And really, you know, just feels like he can't keep up. I mean, I'm pulling for Solar. I would love to see Solar win this and go into a Game 5, but it just feels like he's struggling so hard against what Cure is doing here. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it does feel like, for the most part, Cure is just kind of like, hey, here I am over here. And it forces the big pull over. And then eventually we just see Cure come in from a different angle and just get the damage done, get out. It's tough. It does look like finally Solar's starting to even in supply here. And we just continue to see these small pushes, clearing up the creep. Lurkers will be able to kind of put Solar in a better defensive position against all of this. He can kind of leave a couple Lurkers like at the bases and be somewhat defended. Gets the kill on the new 5th base. Yeah, man. I don't know. We're going to see Marines and stuff coming up once again to this 4th base. He's just been hammering this all game long. Forces it back. Picks up and moves himself back, and we do still have this small force down at the bottom. Behind this, a 5th base, 6th base, and a 7th base basically going to be made. Now, if he actually moves those over, that'll be another thing. Or if he will even need them at this point. I don't know. I gotta say, Solar's starting to fight back a little bit, right? He's finally getting this 5th base going, or almost up. He's able to kind of hold Cure off for the time being. Cure is transitioning into ghosts and tanks to, I guess, kind of fend against the Lurkers, which has been really interesting, right? We've seen Cure kind of tackle these in different angles. He's tackled them with the Liberators. He's tackled them. Just a huge hit there. Tackled them with tanks, tackled them with Liberators, and really kind of shows that there are different answers to these, that you don't have to just go one way. The Ghost's going to help out against the Viper play. And yeah, he just wants to continue to push into this. Link's going to try to get on top of the Marines. Lurker's going to burrow down. The Link's coming in for a surround. The Bailings looking to crash in on top of this. The Ghost eventually will still survive, but all of the Queensmen and all of the Lanesmen, I don't know, ended up falling down. And eventually the tanks do get cleaned up. That is a huge play for Solaris to get those, and even keeps this hatchery alive. But for how much longer? Another attack goes over here. Eventually gets cleaned up and pushed back once again. And Cure's kind of in a spot where he's got to be careful. Like he's starting that parade push. But you know what? He's still got to be careful. More Bailings on the way. A couple more Lurkers. Adrenaline Glance is almost done, so those Lings will be able to bite a little bit more quickly. They steal the stim packs from the Marines, utilize it for their own mutations, and the Viper pools takes out the tanks. Once again, the Lurkers trying to find themselves in a pretty good position overall, but with 3 tanks at a time being made and just more and more Marines being suffered, you've got to be worried here for Solar. Like, he definitely is kind of in a crutch, and the thing is there's so many angles for him to be attacked by. He's got to be careful. Lurkers are going to go ahead and burrow down. Ghost trying to get snipes off onto the Lurkers. Lings and Bailings crashing into the forces. Just not enough there. And we will see Cure starting to back up behind this. Tanks resieging, repositioning, the scans going down. Trying to focus down with the Ghosts and get on top of these Lurkers. And yeah, there's just not enough here, unfortunately, for Solar. Going into more Lings, 24 Lings on the way. So there's not a lot of scans available, I guess, for Cure. He is going to be going into nukes behind this. Yeah, he doesn't have... Yeah, he's got a scan there. He's got a scan there, so that's not too bad. Lurker's going to be going down and trying to put on some pressure as a countermeasure as these tanks continuously try to siege in. Moving forward with the Lurkers, getting on top of everything. Once again, clears out the tanks. Liberators are coming into play now. And the Ghost looking to get some damage done. But so far, looking pretty good. Eventually, this will get cleaned up. And the bottom base as well. And pulls the SCVs out from... And, you know, I gotta say, I like that for Solar. I mean, I really do. Eventually, it does get cleaned up. He did get a whole lot. I mean, he got like 6 kills. But did delay a little bit. Here we go once again. The Bailing's going to roll in. The Lurkers getting sieged up. Some beautiful splits. Not going to be enough, though. And GG's.